What is up, everybody? JT Dangerously here once again. I am here to do my AEW's Grand Slam in Arthur Ashe Stadium 2021 predictions. Now, AEW's Grand Slam happens this Wednesday and this Friday night, live on TNT from Arthur Ashe Stadium in Queens, New York. Now, this card for AEW's Grand Slam, AEW's first show in New York City, it is as stacked and as loaded, folks, from top to bottom. We have 11 fantastic matches with one AEW title on the line. So I am extremely excited to do my Grand Slam predictions for you guys this year, and I hope you guys do enjoy. Now, our record coming into AEW's Grand Slam in Arthur Ashe Stadium this year after our last AEW pay-per-view, and in my opinion, the best pay-per-view of 2021, All Out 3 from Chicago, we went 9-1. So our overall AEW record coming in is a 110, 33-1. So we're coming in insanely hot when it comes to AEW pay-per-view predictions on the channel, because ever since AEW started, we have never had a losing record, and I'm looking to keep it that way. So hoping in this video we will continue this amazing winning streak we're on right now. We're on an unprecedented 18 pay-per-view winning streak, the longest winning streak on my channel, and hoping in this video we will extend the winning streak and make it win number 19. Hopefully. Now, this is the first video of a combined 3 video day on the channel today, guys. So I hope you guys will be able to watch this video and all the fantastic videos we got on deck on the channel in the month of September this year. And as always, sure to support the channel as always, guys, by watching these videos, super kicking those like buttons, hitting that notification bell, and commenting your picks and your opinions in the comment sections down below. Now, if this is your first time watching my channel today, guys, as a first-time viewer, and this is your first video, boy, pick the go. And if you're a huge fan of All Elite Wrestling and being the elite like myself, and you're ready for AEW's Grand Slam, AEW's first show in New York City at the legendary Arthur Ashe Stadium in Queens, New York. Welcome to the Dangerous Alliance. I'm JT Dangerously. Welcome to the club, because this club is... two... Whoop, whoop, again, thank you guys so very much. Now, other than that, let's get right into these predictions. Let's start off with the first matchup. It is an 8-man tag team battle. On one side, they are all representing the Hardy family office, and they will be accompanied by the leader of the HFO, Big Money Matt Hardy, and the Bunny. They are the team consisting of Private Party and the Butcher and the Blade. And their opponents, consisting of Santana and Ortiz, Proud and Powerful, and their partners, they are the new AEW Tag Team Champions, and if you know their music, you'll know who I'm talking about. They are the team of Rey Fenix and Pentagon El Cero Miedo. They are the Lucha Brothers. So coming from me in this 8-man tag team battle, I am going to go with Santana and Ortiz and the Lucha Brothers to get it done and defeat the Hardy Family Office's team of the Private Party and the Butcher and the Blade by any means. And now the next matchup. It is a one-on-one first ever meeting. On one side, he is one half of the Varsity Blondes, and he is the son of the late great Brian Pillman. He is Brian Pillman Jr. And his opponent is representing the Pinnacle, and he is the man that says he's better than you, and you know it. He is the salt of the earth, and if you know his music, you'll know who I'm talking about. He is Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF. Now, starting off with Brian Pillman Jr. first, this matchup is extremely personal because MJF said some of the most damning things about his family, his late father, Brian Pillman, and the city of Cincinnati. So you know Brian Pillman Jr. is going to be coming in with a lot of anger, and he's looking to get quite possibly his biggest win in AEW in 2021. but it's not going to be easy. Their side, you have MJF looking to rebound and bounce back after losing, tapping out to the walls of Jericho to Chris Jericho at All Out 3 in Chicago. And MJF is looking to show that Brian Pillman is just mid, and he's looking to get back on the winning track on his road to the AEW title. So coming from me in this one-on-one first ever meeting between these two, as much as I am a huge fan of Brian Pillman Jr. and Flying Brian Pillman, I am going to go with MJF to get it done here and defeat Brian Pillman Jr. by any means. And now next matchup. It is a tag team showdown. On one side, you have the team consisting of the icon known as Sting and the former two-time TNT champion. And if you know his music, you'll know who I'm talking about. He is Darby Allin, and their opponents are also representing the Pinnacle, and they are the former Raw Tag Team Champions, the former SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the former NXT Tag Team Champions, and the former AEW Tag Team Champions, accompanied by legendary Four Horsemen member Tully Blanchard, and if you know their music, you'll know who I'm talking about. It's time to say, yeah! They're the team of Cash Wheeler and Dax Hardwood. They are FTR. Now, this matchup came to be last week on Dynamite. After Darby Allin defeated Shawn Spears, FTR came out of nowhere and attacked Sting and Darby Allin. And FTR went out to spike pile drive Sting in the middle of the ring. And then Tully Blanchard went out of the ring, got a towel, put water in it, and wiped Sting's face paint off of his face. So this matchup is definitely personal to Sting and Darby Allin to get some revenge against FTR, especially Sting with Tully Blanchard. So coming from me in this tag team showdown, this is a tough pick because FTR needs a big win in 2021. Yes, they have gotten victories over Proud and Powerful, but a victory over Sting and Darby Allin will definitely move their name up that AEW Tag Team title ranking system. But coming from me, as much as I want to pick FTR, I am going to go with the team of Darby Allin and the icon Sting to get it done and defeat FTR by any means. And now the next matchup. It is for the AEW Women's Championship. Starting off with the challenger. She is looking to become the next AEW Women's Champion. She is the runaway Ruby Soho. And Ruby Soho is challenging the fourth reigning and defending AEW Women's Champion. She'll be accompanied by her bodyguard Jamie Hayter and Rebel. And if you know her music, you'll know who I'm talking about. Baby. She is Dr.Britt Baker, D.M.D. Baby. Now, starting off with Ruby Soho first, this is a huge opportunity for her. A chance to become the next AEW Women's Champion. Now, Ruby Soho became the #1 contender for the AEW Women's title when she won the Casino Battle Royal at All Out 3 in her AEW debut. And Ruby Soho being part of the AEW Women's division is massive. But for me, I think she's getting this title opportunity a little bit too soon. I mean, she just made her AEW debut a couple weeks ago, and now she's in a title matchup against Britt Baker in New York City at Arthur Ashe Stadium. I think this is kind of a rush move by AEW, and personally I would have loved to see Thunder Rosa get this opportunity against Dr. Britt Baker. But Ruby Soho does add credibility to the AEW women's division, and she has a pretty solid chance at possibly walking out of New York City the new AEW women's champion. Their side you have Dr. Britt Baker, D.M.D. Baby, looking to continue her reign as the AEW women's champion, and she's looking to make her fourth title defense a successful one. Now, the last time we saw Britt Baker defend the AEW Women's title was against Chris Statlander at All Out 3, and now she is looking to show that she is the true role model of professional wrestling, and she's looking to walk out of New York City still the AEW Women's Champion. So, coming from me in this huge matchup for the AEW Women's Championship, do I think Ruby Soho has a chance? Absolutely. But do I think AEW is going to pull the trigger with her here in her first title match in AEW? No. So coming from me, I am going to go with the good doctor, Dr. Britt Baker, D.M.D. Baby, to retain the AEW Women's Championship by any means and defeat the runaway Ruby Soho. And now the next matchup. It is a huge tag team showdown. On one side, they will be accompanied by America's top team, Dan Lambert, and they are, in my opinion, my favorite tag team in AEW ever since they became a tag team, and they are looking to get their biggest win in AEW. And if you know their music, making their theme debut on the channel, you'll know who I'm talking about. They are the team of Scorpio Sky and All Ego Ethan Page. They are the Men of the Year. And their opponents are both representing the Inner Circle, consisting of the Big Hurt Jake Hager and the leader of the Inner Circle, the former AEW World Champion, the best in the world at what he does, the King of the World, Chris Jericho. Now, this matchup came to be this past week on Dynamite when Dan Lambert was running his mouth once again, talking trash about AEW, talking about his group being top guys and all of that. And he said that if anyone wants to step up, step up. And out of nowhere, Chris Jericho's Judas plays, and Jericho and Jake Hager came out, and they just said, hey, if you don't want to do it if you guys don't want to do it in New Jersey, there's no escape in New York. And this is quite possibly the Man of the Year's biggest match since their match with Sting and Darby Allin. So this matchup is definitely big for Sky and Page. So coming from me in this tag team showdown, as much as I am a big fan of the Men of the Year, I love Ethan Page. I've watched his vlogs for a couple weeks, and he's fantastic. If you're not subscribed to Ethan Page's vlogs yet, definitely go subscribe to him. But coming from me, I am going to go with the Inner Circle's own Jake Hager and the King of the World, Chris Jericho, to get it done here and defeat the Men of the Year, Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page by any means. And now the next matchup. It is a lights-out, non-sanctioned tag team showdown. On one side, you have the team consisting of the Mad King, Eddie Kingston, and the former two-time IWGP United States Champion and the former AEW World Champion. And if you know his music, you'll know who I'm talking about. He is Jon Moxley, and their opponents are both representing Suzuki Gun, Ichiban, and they are a team that hasn't tag teamed in a very long time. They did win World Tag League all the way back in 2011, and they're looking to get some revenge here and now. They are the team consisting of the Murder Hawk Monster Lance Archer and the leader of Suzuki Gun, the King, Minoru Suzuki. Now, this matchup came to be on a very fateful night in Cincinnati on AEW Dynamite, known as the Suzuki Incident. Now, if you guys have been living under the rock, the Suzuki Incident happened on Dynamite in Cincinnati when Jon Moxley was going to face Minoru Suzuki. Now, when it comes to Minoru Suzuki, his theme music is legendary. If you guys don't know, his music always plays, and you get to scream out, "Kaze ni Nare," become the wind. But for some insane reason, AEW, when Minoru Suzuki was coming out for his match against Moxley, they cut his music before "Kaze ni Nare" was screamed out. And no company has ever done that to Minoru Suzuki. And the fact that AEW did that just because Jon Moxley was in his hometown of Cincinnati, it definitely pissed off the King. And when you piss off the King of Pro Wrestling, Minoru Suzuki, you are screwed for life. And it came out as a flat disrespect to him. And when you disrespect Minoru Suzuki, you're in trouble. And with the backing of his former Suzuki Gun mate, Lance Archer, Suzuki and Archer are looking to get some revenge after AEW's slight of his theme music just to put over Jon Moxley in his hometown. Now, this matchup is a lights-out, non-sanctioned match, so you know this is going to be in the wheelhouse of Moxley, Kingston, and Suzuki Gun. But the big question is, who is going to take the pin? So, coming from me in this huge lights-out, non-sanctioned tag team match, this one's tough because I like Moxley and Eddie Kingston, but when you disrespect Minoru Suzuki, you pay for it big time. And I think Kingston and Moxley are going to pay for AEW's stupid decision of cutting off "Kaze ni Nare" before the fans can scream it. So coming from me, I am going to go with Suzuki Guns, Archer, and Minoru Suzuki to get it done and defeat the team of Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley by any means in a banger. Because this is Suzuki Gun Ichiban. And now the next matchup. It is a personal one-on-one grudge match on one side. He is the former Ring of Honor World Champion, the former IWGP United States Champion, the former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, and the former two-time TNT Champion. Making his return to All Elite Wrestling after a month absence, and if you know his music, you'll know who I'm talking about. Adrenaline in my soul. Everything out of control. Do it all to get them on their feet. Crowd is here, about to roll, ready for me to start the show. Out the curtains, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa! He is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. And his opponent is looking to continue his monstrous dominant reign in AEW ever since he debuted. He is the Prince of Darkness, representing the House of Black. He is Malaki Black. Now, this is only the second one-on-one meeting between Cody Rhodes and Malaki Black. Malaki Black won the last meeting over Cody at AEW's Homecoming at Daly's Place on August 4th of this year in very convincing fashion. And that night we possibly could have saw Cody retiring from professional wrestling. But Malaki Black said none of that, hit him with a crutch, and took his boots as almost as a trophy. So this is the much anticipated rematch. Now, starting off with Cody, we have not seen Cody in over a month in AEW, and Cody had to be watching all of his Nightmare family members be dismantled by Malaki Black, his brother Dustin Rhodes, Brock Anderson, Arn Anderson, and Shotty Lee Johnson. So this matchup is deeply personal to the American Nightmare and a chance to even the score against Malaki Black. There inside you have the Prince of Darkness, Malaki Black, looking to put Cody's name into his death note that is the Nightmare family. Because ever since that night in Daly's Place on August the 4th, Malaki Black has been on a tear, destroying member after member after member of the Nightmare family. It started with Brock Anderson, then it went to Arn Anderson, then it went to Shotty Lee Johnson, and then a couple weeks ago, his victory over Cody's brother Dustin Rhodes. So he is just looking to add one more name to his death note, and he's looking to defeat Cody for the second time this year and take him out of the game once and for all. So coming from me in this one-on-one personal grudge match between the American Nightmare and the Prince of Darkness, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, if Cody wins, he's going to bury Malaki Black. But if you think about it, if Cody wins this match, we get a third match between these two, possibly at Full Gear. Maybe a last man standing match or a cage match. Whatever. the fact is, if Cody wins this, we get a potential rematch at Full Gear in November. But a lot of people are picking Malaki Black to once again put down Cody for the second time this year. But a lot of people don't think it's going to be as quick as the first match was. But coming from me, I may get this one wrong, but I'm living dangerously. I am going to go with the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes to exact his revenge and defeat Malaki Black by any means. And now the next matchup. It is a women's one-on-one showdown. On one side, she'll be accompanied by her best friend, the Bunny. She is the super bad girl, Penelope Ford. And her opponent is representing the Dark Order. And she will be accompanied by her best friend, Ty Conti. And if you know her music, making her theme debut on the channel, you'll know who I'm talking about. She is the Queen Slayer, Anna Jay. Now this is only the second one-on-one meeting between the Superbad girl Penelope Ford and the Queen Slayer, Anna Jay. Penelope Ford won the last meeting over Anna Jay all the way back on AEW Dark in April of last year. So this is the much anticipated rematch 1 year later. Now this has been going on between Penelope Ford and the Bunny and Ty Conti and Anna Jay for a while. We saw it on Rampage this past week with, I think it was the Bunny who beat, it was Penelope Ford defeating Ty Conti, and you saw the outside interference by the Bunny and Anna Jay, so you know this is going to turn into a very interesting rivalry between these two ladies. So, coming from me in this women's one-on-one showdown between the Superbad girl and the Queen Slayer, I am going to go with the Dark Order's Queen Slayer, Anna Jay, to get it done here and defeat the Superbad girl, Penelope Ford, by any means. And now the next matchup. It is a 6-man tag team battle. On one side, you have the team consisting of Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, the Jurassic Express, and their partner is currently the reigning Impact Wrestling World Champion and the former 2-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion. And if you know his music, you'll know who I'm talking about. He is the instant classic, Christian Cage, and their opponents, making their return as a 6-man tag team for the first time in nearly 4 years. They are the team consisting of the former AEW Tag Team Champions and still, in my opinion, the best tag team in the world today. And if you know their music, you'll know who I'm talking about. And Queens, are you ready for Super Kick Party? They are Matt, Nick, the Young Bucks, and their partner is making his return from the dead after his character was killed off on Being the Elite 4 years ago. He is the former NXT champion and the only man in Ring of Honor history to hold that Ring of Honor World Championship 3 times. And he is the man that is now part of All Elite Wrestling. And you already know when he comes out, you know his music, making his new theme debut on the channel, you'll know who I'm talking about, baby. Boom! Boom! He is Adam Cole, and that's Adam Cole, baby! And they are the Super Click. Now, this is going to be a very entertaining six-man tag team battle. I mean, you got a pretty good, solid six-man tag team in Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and the Instant Classic Christian Cage. They are looking to get some revenge against the Super Click after what happened at All Out 3, with Jungle Boy being super kicked by Adam Cole in his AEW debut, and Christian Cage looking to get any kind of measurement of revenge against the Super Elite. There on your side, you have Adam Cole and the Young Bucks back as a six-man tag team for the first time in nearly 4 years. And here's a crazy dangerous fact. The last time these three were in a six-man tag team, it was the night after Adam Cole lost the Ring of Honor World title to the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels on March 16th of 2017 on Ring of Honor television against Dalton Castle and The Addiction. And their last victory in a six-man tag team was all the way back that same year in 2017 in February at PWG's Only Kings Understand Each Other against Mike and Dave Chris and the Draw Sami Callihan. So it's been a very long time since we have seen Adam Cole and the Young Bucks team in a six-man capacity. And with the rumored six-man tag team titles possibly coming to AEW, what a better team to be the first AEW six-man tag team champions than Adam Cole, baby, and the greatest tag team in the world today, the Young Bucks. But the fact that Adam Cole is in AEW is huge. That pickup from AEW and Tony Khan made AEW the best professional wrestling company in the world today. And when it comes to Adam Cole, baby, it's money. He can be money as a babyface or a heel. And the fact that he reunited with the Young Bucks, with the Super Elite, just money. And he's looking to show that the Super Click is back, and they're back to get it done, baby. So coming from me in this massive six-man tag team battle, I can definitely see Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and Christian Cage finding a way to win this matchup. But coming from me, you already know I'm going to go with Adam Cole and the Young Bucks, the Super Click, baby, to get it done for the first time in over 4 years and defeat the team of Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and Christian Cage by any means. And now the next matchup. It is a one-on-one first ever meeting on one side. He is representing Team Taz, and he'll be accompanied by the Human Suplex Machine Taz and his son Hook, and he's looking to get his biggest win in his entire AEW career. And if you know his music making its theme debut on the channel, I think, you'll know who I'm talking about.
All your nightmares coming true. Roll out, pull up, stand up, Bay Area. None of my people are scared of ya. I cause a mass hysteria. I pose, you pop, I move, you drop. I'm running over and I won't stop. I'm turning up with the head knock. My minutes, my hours, my time.
He is Powerhouse Hobbs, and his opponent is wrestling his first TV match in over 7 years. He is the former Ring of Honor World Champion, and he is the former two-time WWE Champion that held that WWE title for 434 days. And if you know his music, you'll know who I'm talking about. It's clobbering time, folks. Look in my eyes, what do you see? The cult of personality. I know your anger, I know your dreams. I'll tell you everything you wanna be. Oh, I'm the cult of personality. He is the best in the world, CM Punk. Now, this matchup has the potential to be an absolute classic. It's the strength and power of Will Hobbs versus the experience of the best in the world, CM Punk. Now, this whole thing started during a promo by CM Punk on Dynamite in which Taz interrupted CM Punk, and he was just saying, enough with this Gaga story, giving praise to Darby Allin, and he just almost kind of said, and Taz almost kind of was punking Punk out, which Punk said, hey, bring out Will Hobbs. Bring out Ricky Starks. Bring in Hook. And then he brought out that old Taz line that Taz used for years. Beat me if you can. Survive if I let you. And when he said that, Taz was pissed. And he got a little bit of a revenge this past week on Dynamite when CM Punk was attacked by Hook and Will Hobbs and nearly put through the announcer's table. So this matchup is definitely going to get good. This one's going to be a good matchup, but this matchup is huge for Powerhouse Hobbs. A victory over CM Punk, a former multiple-time world champion, in his first match on television in 7 years. That would definitely elevate Powerhouse Hobbs' name to the moon if he can win this matchup. But it's not going to be easy. There's the idea of CM Punk, who is wrestling his first match on television in 7 years. And if I remember right, his last match on television was on Monday Night Raw against Billy Gunn. So it's been a while since we've seen Punk on television wrestling. But the fact that we saw Punk at All Out in that Chicago crowd, getting that huge comeback victory after 7 years away from the business, defeating Darby Allin, CM Punk is looking to make it 2 in a row, and he's looking to put Powerhouse Hobbs to sleep. So coming from me in this one-on-one first ever meeting between Team Taz and the best in the world, I am a huge fan of Powerhouse Hobbs. He reminds me so much of Monty Brown, the alpha male, if you guys remember him in the TNA days. Just power and just athleticism. But coming from me, you already know I'm never going to pick against CM Punk on this channel. So coming from me, I am going to go with the best in the world, CM Punk, to win his first match on television in nearly 7 years and defeat Powerhouse Hobbs by any means in a banger. And now, the main event. It is easily the biggest one-on-one non-title match in AEW in 2021, and it's all to prove who is the best. On one side, he is making his AEW wrestling debut. He is a former 2-time PWG Heavyweight Champion, a former Ring of Honor World Champion, a former Ring of Honor Pure Champion, a former 4-time WWE Champion, a former World Heavyweight Champion, a former Money in the Bank winner, and he is looking to show that he is still the best in the world at what he does, and that is wrestle. And if you know his music, making his new theme debut on the channel, you'll know who I'm talking about. He is American Dragon Bryan Danielson. And his opponent is the leader of the Super Elite. And he is the reigning AAA Mega Champion as well as the reigning AEW World Champion. He is the god of professional wrestling, and he'll be accompanied by the Invisible Hand Don Callis. And if you know his music, you'll know who I'm talking about. Are you ready for this? He is Kenny, by God, Omega! Now this is only the second one-on-one meeting between the American Dragon Bryan Danielson and Kenny, by God, Omega. Now Bryan Danielson won the last meeting over Kenny Omega all the way back in 2009 at PWG 100 in Reseda, California, 12 years ago. So this is the long-awaited, much-anticipated rematch between two of the best wrestlers in this business. Now, starting off with American Dragon Bryan Danielson, this is one hell of a big one-on-one matchup for him. His AEW wrestling debut. Ever since leaving the WWE, he made his shocking debut at All Out 3 after Adam Cole joined the Elite. And you talk about a big signing. Getting Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole on the same night made AEW the best professional wrestling company in the world. And you already seen it. They've already beaten Raw 2 weeks in a row in the demographic at the 1849. Rampage is getting better and better. Dynamite's getting bigger. And their pay-per-views are getting better and better. And adding Bryan Danielson to this stacked AEW roster is huge. I mean, this guy has done it all. I mean, he's the former Ring of Honor champion, former Pure champion, former WWE champion, former World champion, Money in the Bank winner, the guy who beat Triple H, Batista, and Randy Orton in the same night to become the WWE World Heavyweight champion. Bryan Danielson has done it all. But now he's looking to prove that he is still the man. And he's looking to beat Kenny Omega for the second time in this entire rivalry. There on the side you have the God of Pro Wrestling, Kenny by God Omega, looking to prove himself. Because this was a complete challenge by Bryan Danielson on Dynamite this past week in Jersey. Bryan Danielson definitely got to Kenny Omega's manhood, saying that if you want to be known as the best bout machine, you got to beat me. And him saying that spoke a lot of volumes, because Kenny Omega is still, in a lot of people's opinion, the best bout machine. The man that beat Okada twice to win that IWGP Heavyweight Championship 3 years ago at Dominion in Osaka-jo Hall. The man that has 6-star matches from Dave Smeltzer. I mean, he's done it all, but he has now got to do it on his own. It's a non-title match. He has nothing to lose in this matchup, but he's looking to prove that he is still the best bout machine, and he is still the best. So coming from me in this one-on-one non-title huge showdown between the American Dragon and the best bout machine, boy, this matchup is going to be so good, and I got a funny feeling. We have not had a draw in AEW since, I think, Fight for the Fallen on the first Fight for the Fallen with Darby Allin and Cody. That was the last tie we had in AEW. And I kind of feel this matchup being non-title, so you know it's going to be maybe a 20 or 30 minute time limit. I can feel this matchup going to a draw. And I wouldn't be mad about it, because both guys can't afford to lose. Bryan can't afford to lose his first matchup in AEW. And Kenny Omega can't lose face as the AEW champion, losing in a non-title match. So coming from me, I'm predicting this match will end in a draw. Or if this match does have a winner, I am going to pick Bryan Danielson to defeat Kenny Omega by any means. So either it's going to end in a draw, or Bryan Danielson will beat Kenny Omega in an instant classic. And those are my AEW's Grand Slam in Arthur Ashe Stadium 2021 predictions. Whew, now, I do want to thank you guys so very much for watching this video today. Comment below, who do you see winning this massive one-on-one non-title showdown to see who is the best between Bryan Danielson and Kenny by God Omega? Who do you see winning between CM Punk and Powerhouse Hobbs? Who do you see winning between Penelope Ford and Anna Jay? Who do you see winning that lights out, no disqualification tag team match between Moxley and Kingston versus Suzuki Gun? Who do you see winning that one-on-one showdown between MJF and Brian Pillman Jr.? Who do you see walking out the AEW Women's Champion between Ruby Soho and Dr.Britt Baker? And who do you see winning that tag team showdown between Sting and Darby Allin versus FTR? Let me know all of your picks in the comment section. Let's have a conversation about it. Of course, I'm always on to see your comment, like it, and of course reply right back to you, because comments and your opinions are absolutely always welcome on this channel. Now, I do want to thank you guys so very much for watching my AEW's Grand Slam and Arthur Ashe Stadium predictions today. Now, before you guys go, as always, you guys can never forget to do this. That like button, comment, share with your friends. Of course, super kick that like button like only you guys can. Of course, you guys can never forget to do this as well. That subscribe button to become part of this bigger and dangerous alliance. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, what are you guys waiting for, folks? If you're a fan of professional wrestling when it comes to All Elite Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and Ring of Honor Wrestling, and you're a fan of professional sports when it comes to the NFL, college football, the NBA, Major League Baseball, the NHL, and college basketball, super kick that subscribe button. It's free. Become part of this bigger, dangerous alliance. And I will see you guys later today for my official Week 4 college football predictions, and later tonight for my official Week 3 NFL predictions. Later days, guys, and peace.